Hello, Promise Fellows. Welcome to your Promise Fellow Term of Service. In today's module, we will be covering the following items on the left side of the screen. We will spend some time going through the Alliance's role, requesting accommodations, Alliance policies, the Member Code of Conduct, prohibited activities, the discipline process, exit information, and our contact information. Along with these topics that we are covering today, we ask that you connect with your host site supervisor about the host site checklist, as you can see on the right side of the screen. You might be wondering what the role of the Alliance is. The Minnesota Alliance with Youth acts as an employer for all members. We host the AmeriCorps Promise Fellow program. This includes maintaining your member personal files, program policies, discipline process, and providing employment verification. Please note that members are not considered employees, but are instead participants in national service. The Alliance is also in charge of administering your benefits, whether it be your living allowance, health insurance, or any workers' comp claims. The Alliance can also provide verification letters in order for you to apply for SNAP benefits, child care assistance, student loan forbearance, or any other form of government assistance. Please send those requests or any employment verification needs to us and not your host site. If you have any questions, please connect with anyone at the Alliance and they will direct you to Bette Benson or someone who can support your HR needs. If you are in need of any reasonable accommodations which would provide a change in the work environment or in the way things are usually done that enables an individual with a disability or a medical condition to participate in the application process, to perform essential functions of a job, or to enjoy equal benefits and privileges of services that are available to individuals without disabilities, please request anything that you need. To make a request, connect with Kita Yang at the Alliance. We can coordinate any requests with your host site to make sure you are supported during your term of service. You can also reach out directly to your site supervisor for any site-based accommodations that they may be able to provide. If you are interested or requesting an accommodation, here's the process you can expect. First, a review of your service description will be done. Second, a determination of difficulties that your disability causes in your performance of the essential services and functions of your role. Third, a brainstorming of accommodations that can be provided. Keep in mind that a requirement of the Americans with Disabilities Act is that all parties communicate in good faith regarding accommodations and any medical information is kept confidential. Now we will move on to the policies of the Alliance, which can all be found in full in the member agreement. Starting with the Member Code of Conduct. You are expected at all times while acting in an official capacity as an AmeriCorps member to abide by all provisions, policies, and regulations of the Alliance and AmeriCorps, demonstrate mutual respect towards others, and conduct yourself in a manner exemplary as a role model to youth, direct concerns to the Alliance and to your supervisor, protect confidential and proprietary information, meet all other expectations of the Alliance. As you start your service term with us, it is important to know that while serving or identifying as an AmeriCorps member, you may not use inappropriate or offensive language, engage in activities that pose a significant risk or cause harm to others, engage in activities that are illegal under local, state, or federal law, consume alcoholic beverages or be under the influence of alcohol or illegal drugs during the performance of service activities, fail to notify the Alliance of any criminal arrests or convictions that occur during the term of service, engage in AmeriCorps prohibited activities while charging time to the AmeriCorps program, accumulating services or training hours, or otherwise performing activities supported by the AmeriCorps program or CNCS. The full list of Code of Conduct policies and prohibited activities can be found in your member agreement. Please take the time to closely review it if you have not already. Members must serve their hours in the state of Minnesota. If your host site invites you to support a trip out of state, for example, a college field trip with your focus list students, you must request pre-approval from the Alliance. The Alliance will review requests on a case-by-case basis as our program is based in Minnesota. You may never serve any of your hours out of the country. They must all be in the United States per AmeriCorps regulations. Members are not allowed to perform home visits by themselves. This is both for the safety of yourself and for the students and families. Always be with a site staff when conducting home visits, and please follow site-based policies for being alone with youth. Members are discouraged from driving students in their personal vehicles. If you do choose to use your personal vehicle for transporting students, it is important to know that your auto insurance will be liable if any accident were to happen. Understanding your risk. If opting to use your personal vehicle, or if you use a site vehicle to transport students, please make sure to follow site policies. This may not come up for most members. As you will be working directly with youth, please keep in mind the following regarding your personal social media accounts. Do not friend students. Never approve current students as friends or follow students on your social media sites. Do not use social media to contact the parents of students, including the use of direct messaging. Do not share student info. AmeriCorps Promise Fellows are prohibited from posting or sharing any identifying information about the youth that you serve. This may include photos, first or last names, names of students, parents, or family members, their address, or any descriptive language that would make their identity obvious to others. You are responsible for safeguarding the personal information of the students that you serve. Check with your supervisor about your site's social media policy and read and review the full list of Alliance social media guidelines on the Promise Fellow Toolbox. Please note that some host sites do use Facebook as a means of communicating with students. Please follow your site's policies. An important thing to understand as you are beginning your service term is the AmeriCorps prohibited activities. Because AmeriCorps is a federally funded program, there are restrictions on the kinds of activities you can participate in while serving hours. It is important that all members understand that they cannot participate in these activities while serving, and even need to be conscious of creating the perception that they are participating in these activities in their capacity as an AmeriCorps member. Federal funding means that members cannot engage in certain activities, but it is important to keep in mind that you may exercise these rights as a private citizen and may participate in the following activities on your own initiative on non-AmeriCorps time. If you choose to do so, just remember, please do not wear the AmeriCorps logo while doing so. Members cannot be attempting to influence legislation, assisting, promoting, or deterring union organization, providing a direct benefit to a labor union, replacing or taking on the duties of an existing staff member at their site, providing a direct benefit to a business organized for profit, organizing or engaging in protests, petitions, boycotts, or strikes. If there is a strike at your site, contact the Alliance. We will provide you with more guidance on how to navigate that situation. Impairing existing contracts for services or collective bargaining agreements, engaging in partisan political activities or other activities designed to influence the outcome of an election to a public office, participating in or endorsing events or activities that are likely to include advocacy for or against political parties, political platforms, political candidates, proposed legislation, or elected officials. Members cannot participate in political advocacy while serving. Examples of this could be petitioning an elected official, campaigning for political candidates, voter registration or voter registration drives, protesting against or demonstrating for any type of legislation, providing direct benefit to a partisan political organization. It is important to remember, as an individual on your own time, not wearing AmeriCorps gear or identifying as an AmeriCorps member, you can engage in these activities. An example of perception of prohibited activities in this case would be a member on their own time, let's say after service hours on the weekend, calling their state representative to ask that they support a specific piece of legislation and using their AmeriCorps position as a reason why the legislator should support that legislation. It is okay for you as an individual to call and advocate for legislation on your own time, but talking about your service would create the perception that you are advocating in your official capacity on behalf of AmeriCorps. Continuing with prohibited activities, members should not be engaging in religious instruction, conducting worship services, providing instruction as a part of a program that includes mandatory religious instruction or worship, constructing or operating facilities devoted to religious instruction or worship, maintaining facilities primarily or inherently devoted to religious instruction or worship, or engaging in any form of religious proselytization. Members are expected to not participate in religious instruction while serving. Examples of this could be leading prayer services, teaching classes on religious text or practices to children or adults in any setting, testifying or engaging in activities that are meant to engage individuals in or convert individuals to a particular religion, providing direct benefits to an organization engaged in any form of religious activities, and of course, as an individual on your own time, not wearing AmeriCorps gear or identifying as an AmeriCorps member, you can engage in these activities. Members are expected to not participate in abortion services or referrals while serving. Examples of this could be providing referrals to abortion services, distribution of resources that include abortion services, accompaniment of clients at facilities that perform abortions, protesting or demonstrating in support of or against abortion services or laws. And like political advocacy, as an individual on your own time, not wearing AmeriCorps gear or identifying as an AmeriCorps member, you can engage in these activities. Now that we have covered a lot of the policy pieces, we will continue on to the discipline process for members. Should a discipline issue arise during your term of service, know that there is a collaborative process that we will follow. Keep in mind that our goal is always for a member to continue to serve at their site. In most cases, the discipline process is as follows. Verbal warning. A member will receive a verbal warning from their supervisor or trainer for the first offense. Documentation will be provided to the Alliance and placed in the member's file. Written warning. A member will receive a written warning for a second offense. Improvement plan. The site supervisor, Alliance trainer, and the member will work together to create a mutually agreed upon improvement plan. For any additional offenses, the member may be suspended for 1 or more days without compensation as the Alliance conducts an investigation to determine the best next steps, or the member may be released for cause. Please note, the Alliance reserves the right to take immediate disciplinary action, including termination from service, in cases where during the term of service the member has been charged with or convicted of a violent felony or possession, sale, or distribution of a controlled substance, has caused significant physical or emotional harm to another individual, or any other violation of the member agreement. You are about to start your term of service, and it is expected that you serve all of your hours and up until your service end date. If for some reason you are unable to do so, please consider the following information. Members who end service early without completing the minimum total service hours fall under one of two categories: exit for a personal compelling reason or exit for cause. This is the language that all AmeriCorps programs use. A personal compelling exit can be granted to a member facing circumstances beyond their control. The Alliance must document the circumstances that prevent the member from completing their term of service. Reasons may include a member's disability or serious illness that makes completing the term of service impossible. The Alliance will require a doctor's note. Disability, serious illness, or death of a family member which makes completing a term unreasonably difficult or impossible. Conditions unforeseeable such as natural disaster, premature closing of a project or program, relocation of a spouse, or military service obligations. A member who exits for a personal compelling reason may be eligible to receive a prorated education award. Members who end service early without completing the minimum hours for any other reason will be released for cause. This is the catch-all bucket for AmeriCorps. Cause exits include both members who resign and members who violate the member agreement and are removed from service. A member who exits for cause will receive no portion of the education award. Finally, we're going to be covering AmeriCorps branding. You will be provided member gear throughout the year, including t-shirts and sweatshirts, as well as a name badge and a sign identifying you as an AmeriCorps member. Celebrate national service. Help make the AmeriCorps Promise Fellow role clear to others in your organization and at your site. And wear your gear. Fun fact, it's required by AmeriCorps. Because you are going to be working with both your host site and the Alliance, you must follow the policies of both your host site and the Alliance. Site policy review should be a part of orientation at site and provided by your site supervisor. Review your site's policy about working with youth, as each of your sites may be different. You can find the full on-site training checklist you see on the screen in the Promise Fellow toolbox. Do you have any questions or concerns? Here are some people that can help direct you towards finding answers. Your site supervisor can help you with any site-related concerns, procedures, daily schedules, and tasks. Your Promise Fellow leader can help you with any data support, student engagement strategies, hours help, training questions, and resource support. And, of course, your Alliance trainer can help you with benefits, compliance-related questions, issues at your site, or any other questions you may have.